Hi, everyone. This is Megan Stewart with the Girl Scouts of Virginia Skyline Council. And I am going over the step 3 of the eco-advocate badge for the ambassadors. And before we jump in, I just want to let you all know that we are having our early bird membership renewal going on right now in the month of May and June. And we have a lot of exciting options and incentives, so hope you'll support us. Our council is working really hard to provide virtual program, which is partly what I'm doing today, and we have some exciting stuff coming this summer as well. We want to support you as much as we can where you are at home, and Girl Scouts are we're not going anywhere, and so hope you will renew your membership. All right. So this is step 3, as I mentioned, and the last step was about finding the environmental issue that you are passionate about, because as this is the Eco Advocate Badge, we're ultimately working our way up to either a campaign or an event where we're going to speak to others. We're going to advocate for our issue that we're passionate about. So, something that is near to your heart, if you care about animals, or if you're upset about the lack of snow in the winter due to the warming climate, or you're afraid of rising sea levels, or you have a park that's littered. These are all related and good options. What matters is that you care about it, because people respond to that when you're passionate. So, all right, we are going to jump to, I'm going to show you some the options on the badge. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. So we're going to start with, coming up with a solution. So this is, now we have our issue, and now we're going to focus on the solution to our nature issue. And the Girl Scouts program material has a few questions to keep in mind. This is what I have behind me as well. So one of the first ones is, how will your solution help the issue? So, drawing a picture is good and can inspire you, but will it really help raise awareness or get people excited or passionate as well? It might be an important step, right? But you want to think big picture. The other question is whether it'll be the most practical or realistic idea. So one of the options might be to host a rally, and in this current COVID-19 atmosphere, that's not really practical and would probably deter people, especially something in public. However, if you put a virtual spin on it, certainly we've seen some fundraiser concerts that have been hosted online, and you could work with local artists and see if they would want to be involved, something like that, or even friends. You could do a talent show, but basically you want to, is it practical or realistic? Say, well, if we could raise $300,000, that's a lot of money, and maybe not the most practical. So as you're working through these, you want to look at the scale for, either you to implement or for you and your troop. So keeping in mind whether it's practical and realistic. And then also, and finally, will your solution provide a lasting impact? So, for example, if there's litter in your park, then you could, you and your troop, or you by yourself, could go to the park and pick up the trash, right? And that's important, and it would have an impact for that day. But the problem is that people are littering, and so you want your solution to have a more lasting impact. So if people are littering in a park, it's likely because maybe they don't know that there are consequences, or maybe they need more trash cans in the park. So you might want to talk to the park staff about creating more permanent signage saying, littering is not allowed, and littering won't be tolerated. So if you're caught littering, then you will be asked to leave, something like that. So you want a solution that will have a more long-lasting impact than just a quick momentary action. Picking up litter is community service, but it's not a long-lasting solution for that problem. And you may be familiar with these concepts, right, from your bronze, silver, and gold award projects, where you're taking action and working to come up with something kind of long-standing. So, all right. So now we're going to go back here. So the three options that you have for this step is you can either you can focus on your issue and talk to an expert. So someone, either a professor, a scientist, or an environmental advocate, similar to the one we spoke to in step one. And that was Danielle with the City of Roanoke Stormwater Division, who is happy to talk to you if water pollution is something that you're concerned about. But most people are happy to talk with Girl Scouts about problem solving. So, but since and then you would talk to that person about their solutions and then choose one for you to then work to implement in the coming steps 4 and 5. The second option is to find an environmental group or activists already working on a solution for your issue. And so I've circled this one here because that's the one I'm going to focus on today. Certainly, I think all three of these are possible in this current situation. I want to spotlight the Sierra Club because they do important work on so many different environmental issues. And one of my personal philosophies is I don't like to recreate the wheel. And so I think kind of partnering up with groups that have already been doing the research and are starting to and have solutions that they're working on is a good use of your energy and time. I also want to emphasize that don't feel discouraged. I would say, this isn't an exercise to find an issue that no one is working on and that you're going to have like the most, and you need a solution that no one has come up with. Now, if you come up with that based on your research or conversations with your experts or, looking into this, by all means, do that. But on the other hand, the more people work together on an issue and their combined energies on solutions, the more effective they can be. So this is, it's a great thing if there's an organization that's already working on your issue. You can jump in and take it to the next level in your community. And so that's one of the reasons I'm advocating for this one too, because I think getting involved with an existing group can be a great option. And then finally, your third option would be to organize a team to do research. And so that could be your troop or even a group from your school. And you would all need to be in agreement on the issue that you're researching and looking for a solution on, and then choosing one to implement as we move forward. So now I'm going to jump to the internet, and we're going to look at the Sierra Club's website because they have a lot of great options. And for the sake of this exercise today, I'll look into the pipeline issue. It's affecting my community and is something that I feel really strongly about. So, and they're working on it. All right. So sierraclub.org. So a little bit about the Sierra Club as well, if you have not heard of them. Sierra Club is the longest running environmental advocacy group in the world. And it's the largest in America. It was founded by by the man who, a man who fell in love with Yosemite. His name was John Muir. And if you've ever been to Yosemite or even seen pictures of Yosemite National Park in Northern California, it's just a magical place. It's hard to believe even when you're there. And this man was not an environmentalist. He was an inventor, and but you know, he migrated west from Wisconsin, and he came into Yosemite Valley and just fell in love with it, and saw what the commercialism was starting to do to the valley. They were cutting down some of the largest trees that had ever been seen, and they were putting up all kinds of shops and polluting it. And he made it his life mission to start writing to the President of the United States, who was Theodore Roosevelt at the time. And Theodore Roosevelt came out to California, which could not fly back then. This was in the 1800s. And John Muir took Theodore Roosevelt backpacking for 3 nights in Yosemite Valley, just the two of them. That was it. It was unheard of. I have chills just talking about it, because I love Yosemite. I love John Muir. And at the end of that backpacking trip, Theodore Roosevelt emerged from the trip and was convinced at the importance of preserving God's natural beauty and for future generations to come and visit it. It was because of John Muir and the beauty of Yosemite Valley that we have national parks and state parks. So, and then he founded the Sierra Club. And this, you know, he was just a man on his own. He had a college degree, which, you know, was still unique for the 1800s. And he just wrote letters and drew pictures and continued writing to statesmen in Washington. And so that's where the Sierra Club was born. And so this is a great organization to align yourself with. They have done a ton of work. So this is the national page. I want to show you how to drill into your local one. So this is set for Charlottesville. I actually live in Roanoke, but that's fine. We're looking for the Virginia chapter. So you could search for if you're not from Virginia and you're joining us from another state or even country, you can search here by zip code, or you can look at this list of all chapters. But so I'm associated with the Virginia chapter, so I'll click there, and it's going to take me to the Virginia chapter page. And this is where they are working on specific topics. So our work. So these are the many issues that they're working on. So you can see climate and energy. So that's climate change, but then they're also looking into renewable energy sources, which, you know, are linked topics. They've got stop the pipelines. They have clean water. And then they have multiple issues there: coal ash, offshore drilling, fracking. They also work on, sorry, that's a little jumpy, clean air and coal dust. They have land use, transportation issues that they're looking into. So electrifying Virginia transportation. So that would be, say, oh, and I'm sorry, I'm just realizing I did not share my screen. Okay, so we're going to go back here. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the Sierra Club homepage. So this is the homepage. So this is where the Charlottesville was listed. I'm going to click on the Virginia chapter. Down below, this is where you can search for your other states. Okay, now we're on the Virginia one. Our work, this is the section where then they've got links to the various topics that they're looking at. So you've got climate action, that's where the offshore wind is, the pipelines. And then each of these with the little kind of arrow next to them is where they drop down into more topics. So I'm going to click on Stop the Pipelines. So I've got some pictures, and then they've got really great resources here where you can learn more. And then they have an option where you can take action and how you can get involved. They have contact information here for their local representative Jessica Sims. And they have an update as recent as March 25th. So yeah, I really recommend Sierra Club. Let's look at their climate action page as well, see what they've got there. Yeah, Sierra Club is an environmental advocacy group. So they are all about identifying the solutions and helping you take action. So in this case, for take action, they have letters to Congress and phone calls that you can make. And they have, and this is wonderful, an already kind of a web form that's already ready to go, and we'll set up to submit to your target audience in Congress. They also have tweeting messages as well, and they have examples, which is great and always helps. And you can donate. Truly, raising money for these organizations to help them is always helpful. And I know the Sierra Club Virginia staff is very small, so I mean your money is going to a good cause, and you could help towards this effort, and we'll look at that later as well. So you know, just use your Google tool, look for web pages, or I'm sorry, not web pages, but other environmental organizations that are working on the cause that you've chosen. So in this COVID world, really you can choose something exotic like saving the whales or save the coral reef. Like, what matters is that it resonates in your heart and soul. You know, and here, I'll share my screen another time, and we'll, you know, just, you can just Google, you can say save the whales, because as you could see, that was not a Virginia. So there's a Virginia Sierra Club topic, but there's the whale and dolphin conservation, donate to save the dolphins. There's a lot of different options that you have. Okay. All right. Now, in this badge program for the eco-advocate, they have a number of helpful resources as well as we prepare to move into step 4, which is the advocate one, which is where we're going to start reaching out. So just in preparations for that next step, I'm going to show this piece here, the advocacy skills. And so this is another piece of research. So in addition to your topic and the solutions that you're going to look into, you're going to want to think through these topics: running meetings, which you may already be very comfortable with through Girl Scouts or other civic organizations that you're a part of. Speaking in public may be something you're really comfortable with, but I would say when there's speaking in public about something, you know, sharing your name and information, but when it comes to advocating an issue and your solution, there's an art. And so it could really help to do a little bit of research on speaking in public, get some tips and tricks. Same with organizing an event, even if it's a virtual event. There are, like, as they say here, a lot of little details involved in preparing and carrying out a successful event. So as a Girl Scout, be prepared. And I would like to recommend, so certainly if you know anyone that that you know that is an advocate or public speaker and organizes events, talk to them by all means. It's a great option. I would also suggest that if you're not a part of, if you've not looked into TED Talks, they also have what's called TED Ed, which is for students. So it's technology, I forget what TED stands for, I'm embarrassed to say, but they or they connect with experts on all these incredible topics, and they do these really quick 10-15-minute webinars on various topics. And TED Ed is by students as well, and they're pretty short, and they're just very engaging, and they really make you think. And you can search so many different topics, but I guarantee those ones that you just look into, how do I organize an event, or public speaking and running a meeting, there will be TED Talks on those topics to inspire you by your peers. Or you can go to the TED Talk for professionals, or for the general public, TED Talks, and check those out as well. So I think that'd be a good starting point as well. All right, well, that was step 3, focusing on the solution and choosing your solution that for the issue that you're passionate about. And then when we get ready to move into step 4, then we're actually gonna, the options there are to either create and implement a campaign, volunteer with an existing group, or organize an event to advocate. I will kind of tell you, I'm gonna most likely go with choice 1, creating and implementing a campaign for that, because right now volunteering with an existing group, or maybe it will do like a combination of creating a campaign based on an existing environmental group, because going to volunteer in person at some of these efforts isn't happening right now. So we'll think about it. We've got some time. In the meantime, focus on your solution. Don't hesitate to ask any questions. If you need help and would like to make this more interactive, I can join your troop for a meeting, and or just work with you as well. Just let us know. Happy to help. Email us at info@gsbsc.org, and hope you are all staying healthy and safe. And thank you for joining.